At this moment, I would like to introduce Mr. William Dennis. Mr. Dennis is Senior Research Fellow at the National Federation of Independent Business. He has directed the NFIB's Research Foundation since 1976. Welcome, and you have 5 minutes to present your testimony. Thank you.
Chairman, Mr. Altmeyer, Representative Kingston. Last week, NFIB released a study called Small Business and Health Insurance 1 year after enactment of PPACA. What I'd like to do is focus my remarks on the results of that study, since it's quite current and I think in many ways relevant to what we're talking about today. First of all, to be sure we understand who was included in this. We surveyed only people that were under 50, small employers that were only had 50 or fewer employees. It was a nationally random sample. It wasn't just of NFIB members. There will be probably some randomly in there, but this is a national random sample. It was done in late April and in May of this year. So it's well, it's not as wasn't done yesterday. It's current enough so that I think we can say it's the state of what we know today. The findings are really quite simple, I think. The first is that we essentially are in this period of declining offer rates by this series of firms. They're at 42% now, which is the continuing of the downtrend over the last 10 years at least. And our 42% number is not surprising. MEPS just produced one that was 39%, which is lower. And so it really does captivate the trend. Something else that you should understand is that basically nothing has happened in the last year and nothing is projected to happen in the next year. People who had offered before tend to offer now and expect to offer in the future. And those who do not or have not offered didn't pick it up this year, and they don't plan to in the future. So essentially what we're seeing is this continual downtrend that's going on and on. The one thing we are seeing, however, is that 20% with insurance expect major changes in that insurance. And virtually all those changes are not to the benefit of the employee. Since enactment, 1 in 12 small employers have either lost their specific plan or been told that they will lose their specific plan. Of those who claim to be familiar with the law or having some familiarity with the contents of the law, they, by very large margins, overwhelming margins, particularly those who employ or those who insure, think it will not reduce the cost of health insurance. It will not reduce administrative burdens, will increase taxes, will add to the deficit. They do agree that more people will be covered, although they're not quite sure about whether that's going to yield better benefit or yield greater health outcomes. There are, I have a whole series of things here, but to begin with the tax credit, let's just look at the tax credit. We estimate, using some new data that we collected that we don't think is generally available, out of the 5,228,000 small employers in this class, an estimated 245,000 will be able to take advantage of the full credit, and 1.165 million will be able to take advantage of the partial credit. That's not how many will. Fewer will probably take advantage of that, in part because of knowledge, but that's the maximum that will take part. Now, beyond that, there's the whole incentive effect. How many will it incent? One of the ideas behind this is just not to provide a windfall to have people do what they're already doing. It's to provide an incentive for people to purchase it. Yet we calculate that only about 2% will have an incentive based on the full credit, and more than that will have an incentive based on the partial credit as well. We also got a bit into the idea of will these small business owners, if people start to leave, low-income people start to leave for the exchanges, what are they going to do? And about 21% said they would seriously explore looking at whether or not they're going to drop their health insurance for everybody. Now, and another 26% said that they would do that with somewhat less certainty. So there clearly is a tendency, or there is a thought process which would lead folks in that direction, and once competition actually sets in, new firms continue to churn in without health insurance, we're going to see real market pressures not only not to add for those who don't have it, but to lose it for those who do. Thank you.